G'day, David Geary.
Hi guys, Daniel Hastings here and welcome to our end of financial year, our June 2019 video blog. And David, there really has been a lot of interesting stuff going on, I think, in the last 3 weeks, especially since the election. What facts and figures have you noted of late?
Okay guys, look great, there's a few things that are happening around here. What's interesting, I've looked at what's going to happen to the balance of 2019, so after the end of the financial year and on, and then looking at what's happened before then and how that's going to affect the ongoing real estate market.
Yep.
So basically guys, a couple of really good things have happened now is the Royal Commission, totally over, all finished. The federal election, done, all over it. So the security there with the government as well. The government have also got a lot of tax cuts that they've actually going to be slowly getting out into the marketplace as well. So things are, there's a lot of positives out there as well. The gross domestic products, they have an increase of 4% this year as well, which is a really positive as well. So there's lots of little positives happening in the real estate market. What I did notice as well is there's a couple of cities but in Australia that actually had a high demand, which was actually Adelaide and Hobart.
Yeah, smaller cities.
Yeah, smaller cities. They've had amazing, and their growth, it's got a little bit of growth in there as well.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, Sydney and Melbourne have still had a small decrease, but things are panning out now, leveling out pretty well now. Yeah. So with that said, what do you think is going to happen, or what's happened this year compared to what's happening now in the real estate market?
Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of this I think is cyclical. We've got to acknowledge that straight off the bat. But there was some other anomalies that I think affected things. Certainly that Royal Commission that you mentioned tightened lending and really caused some headaches in that regard. That combined with the cyclical change definitely had an impact on the slide down to a settling point.
So
now I think we've predicted this months now, that we knew we were pretty close to for some time, and now at that settled point. I think we can safely say that. ABS or whatever other stats going around will probably say otherwise. There's still more to happen, but a lot of that information is a couple of months old, 2 or 3 months old perhaps. We're definitely seeing on the ground now that that's the case. I think we've definitely seen a supply and demand shift, undoubtedly. Obviously, while the market was coming back, less people were inclined to sell, but definitely seen now an increase in demand. I think a lot of that has got to do with post-election situations. A lot of people will hold their breath and wait to see who gets in the elections, in federal elections I mean to say, but this time around there was a lot of specific policies that were very anti-property. Negative gearing comes to mind, capital gains tax issues as well. So that really stopped people investing and waiting to see what happened. Regardless of who your preferences are in relation to who you vote for, we have to acknowledge that Labor had some policies that weren't favourable for property. So anyway, the fact that the Liberals did get in, or the coalition got in, we've certainly seen a confidence boost, particularly since the election. So with that being the case, we've definitely seen really strong activity, haven't we?
Oh, the activity's just gone through the roof.
It's been a significant difference. For many months, we had a situation where you're lucky to get one buyer, or you're happy to get one buyer. Now, since the election especially, a number of sales have seen 2 or 3 buyers competing a bit. So back to
do you think that they realise where the market's pretty well around the bottom? I think
that's so.
Yeah.
And they're just due. They've been sitting on their hands for a while. Obviously, post-elections made things more comfortable for them, and they're starting to jump and get out there. And look, I think we had an excellent auction on Saturday, which really demonstrated that. We might even put a link on this post as well for people to have a look at there. But
6 registered bidders.
7 registered bidders. 5 of them got their hand up, and we had a result that far exceeded reserve. And a wonderful auction arena on the day. So that was at 122 Hislop Street in Magneton. So that was a really current example of what's going on, along with some private treaty sales where we've got those 2 and 3 people going on as well.
Just for people out there, do you think that there is not a lot of stock out there at the moment as well? People have been hesitating to put their house on the market.
That's right.
So when a good property comes on,
it was only going to take a little bit more increase in demand to have this effect. Because while the stock levels are low, like you say, because people just weren't confident to go out there and sell as much. I think that'll start to change now that the news is getting out there. It's happening in Sydney as well. We're mirroring Sydney, and we've had meetings with our MMJ group, all our franchise officers, and they're all saying the same thing.
Excellent. So forecast for end of financial year through into 220? What's your forecast there?
Look, I think as far as, I don't expect major growth, but I think the plummeting has stopped. I'm confident and hopeful that we'll at least see a slightly positive situation in capital values. But yeah, I think we're now going to see a very balanced market. We probably had situations where the market was a little bit more in favour of the seller. Let me correct that, buyer, I should say. Now we're seeing a genuine balance in the marketplace, and that's really healthy. And I think that's great for sellers because they can start feeling confident that things are healthy to sell.
I think we've gone through the hard part now.
Definitely.
Everyone's got a good chance of selling their property, and everyone's got a good chance of buying property. And I think that we've had a lot of cases now that we have happy buyer, happy seller, happy agent.
Absolutely. That's rare.
All right, guys. Thanks again for your time. Hope you have a good new financial year. Dave Geary and
Daniel Hastings. Thanks again. See you next month.
See ya.